Many people have been fascinated by the pyramids and speculated on how this magnificent architecture was built. Conspiracy theories of pharaonic magic powers and alien intervention have attempted to explain this, but historians have emphasized the high level of engineering at the time. Claire Malleson, an archaeologist at the American University of Beirut, engages with the question from a different perspective. In her article in Rawi Historical magazine, she asks, what was in the menu for the builders of the pyramids? And who was responsible for providing the supplies?
Pyramids are really famous for being enormous monuments, and the first thing people think about is how were they built? And when they think that question, they're thinking about the engineering, how the blocks were moved. But actually what interests me more is the lives of the people who built them, and then the mechanisms behind the infrastructure.
The construction of the pyramids took about 20 years, and around 8,000 to 10,000 people participated in the process every day. The workers lived in a town near the pyramids. They were strong men between the age of 16 and 20, each weighing 60 to 65 kilograms, and they needed 2,700 to 3,000 calories per day. To feed these huge groups, a well-organized system of food provision was necessary.
So we know the workers came from all over Egypt. Actually, it was like a corvée labour. Each village was expected to send so many workers to go and be involved in the construction site. We know this from later documents in Egypt.
The workers' meal consisted of bread, beer, mutton, goat, beef, as well as fish. Providing these meals wasn't an easy task. The bread was made of emmer wheat and barley that were cultivated in the Nile Valley and transported to the site where it was stored in granaries. Making the bread required hundreds of liters of water that needed to be collected every day and transported to produce a dough. Around 5,000 cattle and 15,000 sheep and goats were consumed annually. All these had to be moved from the delta where they were raised to the construction site to be slaughtered, butchered, and finally distributed. Approximately 20,000 people participated in raising animals for the pyramid workers, which was 2% of the population back then.
We can tell this story about the people who really built the pyramids, who made it possible, because we've done really basic ground level archaeological work in Egypt for so many years, collecting every single scrap of everything we find. So we're not just looking for beautiful objects that might look pretty in a museum. We're looking for smashed up bits of bone and burned grains and seeds. That's where the story comes from. The broken things, the garbage that people have thrown away. That's where we get the real story.
The pyramids continue to impress its modern observers, and now not only because of its architecture. The comprehensive network of food provision that sustained thousands of workers every day for decades was in itself a logistical masterpiece.